Hi, dear ones, today I have another nice top 10 list for you. I love top 10 lists. Today there are 10 healing morning rituals. Welcome to Soul Tapping. Today I would like to introduce 10 possible healing morning rituals that you might want to try out, because the morning is a very important time of the day, as it sets the tone for your entire day. So, as your morning goes, so will your entire day essentially go. And if you get up on the wrong foot and first think, another day, what am I going to do with it? Oh no, hopefully today won't bring that again, and hopefully I won't be afraid, and hopefully this won't happen, and that won't happen. Yes, many people with depression start their day like this. And it can be helpful if you decide to start with certain rituals that are positive and healing to realign yourself and give the day a chance to become the best of your life. It might not become that, but at least you can give the day a chance to be better than yesterday. That would be my first point. The first thought in the morning should be a positive one. That's very important. I think I've explained this in another video before, and that's because our brain, during the waking up, and falling asleep phases, is in a kind of hypnotic state. So the brain has different frequencies depending on whether you are in a waking state, asleep, or in a hypnotic state, essentially in an alpha state. And being in this state means that you are programmable. That means what you think first thing in the morning, and also what you think last before falling asleep, has a programming character and really settles in and gets stored nicely in your brain. That's why you should be aware of it as soon as you wake up and open your eyes in the morning. Or even before you open your eyes, you should remind yourself to immediately switch to a positive thought if a negative one wants to come to you first. You can train yourself now. You can decide beforehand what you want to think first. There are various possibilities. Either you can plan it the night before by considering what you have planned for tomorrow. I could plan something nice for tomorrow, something I can look forward to, so that my first thought in the morning is one of anticipation. Even if it's just calling a friend to chat or have a coffee with her. Anything. It doesn't have to be something big, but you have the choice of how you want to view it, what you are looking forward to. If you focus on anticipation, then you'll have a smile on your face right from the morning. And then your whole day will be different than if you give space to those negative thoughts that want to take over. Often, it's like a tight rubber band that keeps snapping back, with various negative things written on it that you don't want to happen today. But don't think of a pink elephant now. That's it. You can't not think about something. And that's why the first thought in the morning should be positive. Consider it possible that today will at least be nicer and better than yesterday. Even if you feel like, well, the best of my life. Maybe not in the middle of depression. It doesn't have to be. But give the day a chance. That's important. Okay, point 2 is light alarm clock. It makes a difference for your mood and well-being what and how you wake up to. So, if you have a terrible beeping alarm clock or something that goes beep, 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 or makes some kind of awful noise, then it's stressful to wake up. But there are also light alarm clocks, for example. They even come with very sophisticated technology, where you can choose whether you want bird chirping, water sounds, or something nice like that to wake up to. And there are even some that have a clock that is linked to it, and the clock measures your sleep frequency and checks if you are in a deep sleep frequency. And then you somehow set a time frame, I don't know, like half an hour or so. And the clock then signals the alarm clock when you are in a very light sleep phase, so that you are not pulled out of a deep sleep phase by the alarm clock, because that's not a pleasant feeling either, and then you wake up feeling groggy. And since your sleep phases alternate anyway, you're not always in the same phase at the same time. That's why this clock together with the alarm, decides when it's time for you. And then a light alarm clock means that you get a simulated sunrise atmosphere. So at the corresponding time, it somehow starts, I don't know, 5 minutes earlier. It begins very, very slowly, at the lowest level, to emit a very dim light at first. Often it's a bit of yellow light, so it looks like sunshine through closed eyes. And if you pair it with the clock, it will only do this when you're already about to wake up. So, for example, you can make the moment of waking up more pleasant. Just a tip for you. Maybe you can try it out sometime. Then, another beneficial morning ritual is to have freshly squeezed juices or lemon water, or both, in the morning. You can start with lemon water, for example. This has various effects. It has a very positive, healing effect on the body, a detoxifying one, and also an awakening effect. There's a lot of vitamin C in it. And it essentially has a similar effect to caffeine, just healthier. So, vitamin C in the morning also wakes you up. But you don't have that unhealthy coffee with it. And you also don't experience that crash you fall into later when the caffeine shock is over, so to speak. I've gotten into the habit of doing that. In the morning, instead of coffee. For a long time, it was my ritual to drink coffee in the morning. Oh, and it always feels so good, and it's so delicious and cozy. I can totally understand that. But I changed my habits when I learned about Anthony William, who always recommends having juices in the morning. So, celery juice would be ideal. Pure celery juice, without anything else. But it doesn't have to be, if you don't like the taste or if it's too much effort for you. Or something like that. But, getting a juicer at some point. You can also press apples, oranges, whatever it is. Personally, since I've been doing this in the morning, it feels so good for me. And I feel really nice, fresh, and awake, and I don't need coffee in the morning. So, I can highly recommend this as a morning ritual. Point 4 is, celebrate your breakfast. Don't just wolf it down. Maybe you're not really in the mood for breakfast or you don't have an appetite. Or something like that. But then at least treat yourself. Celebrate it for yourself by sitting down, maybe lighting a candle, playing some nice music, and doing something good for yourself, like buying yourself flowers and sitting down to enjoy your breakfast. It has a completely different effect than if you just scarf it down on the go. Of course, it depends on how much time you have. Sure, there are always objections, yes, but. Listen in. It's really fascinating. While you're listening to me, pay attention to whether your yes, but little voice is active. And wants to tell you why none of this is possible. And that you don't have any time left and that you need your sleep. Could be. That's clear. It's an argument if that comes to you. But still, use it as an opportunity. Use it for yourself, now, while you're watching my video, to make contact with your yes, but little voice. And to mentally embrace it and say, yes, thank you for wanting to warn me here, to let something new, a change into my life. But you don't need to. I'll listen to it now and try it out. And if it's not for me, I'll let it go. I'll handle it very calmly. Point 5 is called affirmations. I've been doing this since. I had done it before, but I especially do it now. Since the corona times, because it no longer feels good for me to listen to the radio and the news in the morning. So the very last thing we need early in the morning after waking up are the latest corona news, like the incidence rates and the numbers, and how bad everything is. Instead, I listen to affirmations. On my headphones, so positive phrases that start my day well, that make me feel good, that simply ensure I feel good, so that I focus on myself first thing in the morning. I do this throughout my entire morning routine, while I'm chopping my celery and all that. And I can highly recommend that you really be mindful with yourself. What kind of information are you feeding yourself? So, early, in the morning. And with that, you set yourself up for the day. For example, the thought, another new day in this whole corona madness. Can't this just stop already? And that's not a pleasant thought. But, rather, take that in. I considered whether I should actually release something like that. Maybe like this. MP3s to download with nice affirmations for depression. So write to me in the comments if you would be interested in that. Maybe I'll take the time and make you something with nice music in the background so you can take it in the morning. Then, the point 6 is called meditation. There's nothing like a good morning meditation. That's also where you have the chance to consciously align yourself with the day as you want it to be, so you're no longer at the mercy, powerlessly at the mercy of the things that come. Oh God, hopefully this and that won't happen again, so let's come down from this feeling. You have no influence over your day. You do have influence over your day, and you just need to take care of it. So when you meditate in the morning, it is very, very healing, very helpful to go into silence, listen to your inner voice, and ask open questions. For example, something like, how can today be a beautiful day? How can I experience pleasant things today? How can I manage to have less fear today? Something like that. And then visualize what you want to have. So, my ritual is, for example, that I do doctor's meditations for an hour in the morning. I listen to Joe Dispenza's guided meditations, where I'm guided through things I wish for or through positive feelings. I highly recommend it to you. It's all about how courage would feel. How would it feel if life were an adventure? How would it feel to be divine? How would it feel to have a brilliant mind? Things like that. You are guided through something and supposed to imagine something. And with that, you activate all your positive feelings within you. And you train them. This is super important in depression. Because negative feelings happen on their own, we don't need to train them, we are conditioned for that. But to recondition that, so to speak, and to transform negative feelings into positive ones, that has to be done. That usually doesn't happen on its own, especially not when you're in depression. And that's what such meditations are for. Super helpful. But it can also be anything else. You don't have to do a guided meditation. It's also enough to just sit down, go into silence, and be alone with yourself. Yes, everyone has their own preferences for what makes them feel good. The main thing is that it makes you feel good. The main thing is that you do something in the morning that makes you feel good, that moves you forward. This also includes point 7, which is called gratitude. There it is again. One of the 3 main keys to healing. You can also incorporate this as a morning ritual. For example, simply try this. When you get up in the morning, first open the doors and windows briefly to let in fresh air. Breathe. Be grateful for this fresh air. Be grateful that you are alive, that you are given a new day with a new opportunity, that you have the chance again to see beautiful little things. Be thankful for it. Thank you that the sun is shining today. Thank you for whatever today brings. So, see the little things and be grateful for them. You can make this a morning ritual. It doesn't have to take long, even if it's just 1 minute. But if you do this regularly, every morning, it has an effect because you are directing your awareness and focus on something beautiful and on gratitude. So, smell a flower, or whatever it may be. Pet your dog, whatever small beautiful things you have. And also be thankful for problems you don't have. So, I don't know, for example, suppose your best friend is having a huge relationship fight or an urgent problem or something. And you don't have that right now. And you're in a stable relationship, or you're single and happy with it, whatever it may be. If you don't have that problem right now, then be thankful for it. Consciously, be thankful that you have arms and legs. That's really something we always take the beautiful things for granted. And when you focus on gratitude in the morning, you program your brain to look for beautiful things for the rest of the day. That's something very, very healing. Point 8 of the beautiful, healing morning rituals is called movement. Get your circulation going. Put on some nice music, dance around the apartment, whatever it may be. Many do yoga in the morning. Or go jogging, go for a walk, get some fresh air, soak up the sun. So movement is something that makes you happy, gets you going, and also pulls you out. Perhaps out of your cycles of brooding. Movement, you can celebrate it however you want, in whatever way you prefer. But this is a morning ritual, That is very healthy and healing for everything, for body, soul, and mind. And I can highly recommend it to you. Point 9 is writing. Of course, only if you have time for it. You don't do this in the morning before work. You can, of course, always do that later. But if you have time in the morning, because many of you are currently on sick leave and don't really know how to structure your day since you don't have work at the moment, that would be an option if you've completed your morning ritual with the juice, breakfast, and shower, and whatever else, that you then sit down and write something. For example, to sort out your thoughts. I always find that very healing. Sometimes you're totally caught in your carousel of worries because it's so complex. Then you have worries. I still have to think about that. And when you sit down and write it all down in a structured way, one after the other, and look at the individual points, then you see that it becomes more manageable. It no longer threatens you because you realize, okay, that I could solve it this way, and that way, I could do it like this, and like that. So, there are many possibilities, many variations of how you can apply this writing ritual. For example, you can also ask these open questions. Just ask constructive, open questions about your life. They don't have to be answered immediately. Maybe they will be in your mind, maybe not. That you just sit down and write. How can I achieve that? In a year, I don't know, this and that, there. And be there. Or, how can I easily find a new apartment, a new partner, a new job, whatever you wish for? Or how can I have the courage today to leave my comfort zone and do this and that, whatever that is for you? So, just writing down such open-ended questions is always better than if you phrase it as a statement. I don't have a new apartment, I don't have a partner, I am lonely. That brings you down, it drags your energy down for the whole day. But if you write constructively, how can it work? How can it work easily? What other possibilities are there? When you phrase it like that, then you open the doors right in front of you. And with statements about what's currently bad, you close them. And then nothing changes. That would be one possibility. Or you write down your goals. For example, you could write a letter from your future self in a year. With this idea, if everything goes optimally for a year, just as I wish, what will happen in a year? And imagine your future self writing you a letter from the future to you, where you, for example, encourage yourself. Don't worry, this and that will happen, and this and that is beautiful. And if this brings up feelings in you like doubt, disappointment, it won't work anyway, then you can tap on it. Then you can work with it. And there, you can really. There are so many possibilities. You can rewrite your script. For example, by taking the things that have happened in the last few days that you didn't like and rewriting them. How would you have wished it to be? How should it have gone? Yes, so something like that is very healing because it helps you focus on positive thoughts. And you bring them partly into the world of matter, by writing them down. That makes a difference. Whether you just think it, or whether you say it, speak it out loud, that's the next step. I have suggested this as an exercise with a friend several times, I believe, or that you just have a verbal conversation about what things will be like in a year if everything goes optimally. And another step would be to write it down, for example, in a journal, or something like that. And finally, as the 10th healing morning ritual, I have energy pulling for you. I don't know if you're familiar with it. Maybe the name Sophie Horvath rings a bell for you. She is a business coach and works with therapists and coaches and works with this method. Maybe you also know Access Consciousness. I will definitely make a separate video about it because it's super helpful. That's where this energy pulling comes from. It means that you essentially do a visualization exercise, playing with energies that you might not be able to see, but that you can learn to feel with your eyes closed. Bye. In the very first step, lowering your barriers. That means all your invisible protective barriers that you've built up so the world can't hurt you, just let them down for a moment. Just in your imagination. So, and then you expand yourself. Just do it, simply. Sophie always says, just do it. You don't need to know how it works. Just do it. So imagine how you expand yourself energetically, in an energetic way. How you expand your energy field. And then it's about considering what you wish for. What do you want to have? And then you take an energy ball she always holds. Her hands in front of her, and imagine that this is her energy ball. And then you imagine that all the energy, molecules, whatever of the entire universe, that vibrate at exactly this frequency of what you want to have, are drawn to you into your energy ball. You can visualize it in a way that feels good to you. There's no right or wrong. For example, I find the idea of little glittery sparks, little golden sparks, swirling around the entire universe helpful. And they all make their way to me, streaming towards me. Simply because I deserve it, because I wish for it, and because I want to receive it. And think about that thing you wish for. This is how this ritual works. If you're interested, then Google it. Google this energy pulling. There are courses you can join where you can really learn it. It's a super helpful morning ritual. For example, I've gotten into the habit of doing it whenever I'm standing at my juicer in the morning. I then combine it with things I would do anyway, so it doesn't take extra time. It's simply about using your morning routine for that. Well, to direct your focus in the direction you want it to go. And if you do this every morning, then something changes in the long run. Then you finally break out of your negative loops. If you no longer allow your mind to dictate which negative thoughts you think all morning, don't let that happen anymore. You are the boss. Become the boss again. In there. And don't let all these doubts, fears, and worries crush you. You are the boss, you decide. And as always, it's a matter of training. It probably won't be so easy on the first day, because you have to go against a habit at the beginning. The brain is used to thinking negatively at first. And it does it simply because it's accustomed to it. But you can retrain it. Do this every morning and start with 1 minute. As always. So, it's always the same thing I tell you. You have to train it patiently, without judgment. Without saying, damn, it's not working for me, I'm incapable, I'd rather give up. Don't let it be like that. That's just a sabotaging monster trying to talk you out of it again. Resolve to learn to orient yourself positively. Start especially with just one of these morning rituals. Just one. The danger is always that you want too much and overwhelm yourself. Do just one single thing. Pick the one where your gaze spontaneously fell first and you thought, yes, that's mine. Feel free to write in the comments what yours is. Or what you might already be doing every morning. Maybe you're already doing some of it. Maybe you also have other rituals. There are endless possibilities. Feel free to write that down below. And then pick one of the rituals and try it out on just one morning. Just one single morning. Don't plan to change a lot from now on, because that won't work. And then you're left sitting there frustrated. Pick one, and if it felt good, do it for a second day. Just this second day for now. Don't plan for more than 2 days yet. And if it's good, then you integrate it, and maybe it will work, and then you'll have it down in no more than 3 weeks. They say yes, neuroscientists say the brain needs about 3 weeks to adopt a new habit. Try it out. So, I do some of this every morning. I don't do other things every morning because I don't have time for them. For example, writing, of course, takes time. But I do it now and then. And I can only tell you, it is very, very healing and helpful. Okay, my dear ones, that's it for now from me. 10 healing morning rituals. Feel free to like and comment on my video and subscribe to my channel if you want to support my work. And if you ever want to work with me and have a tapping session, feel free to check out my coaching calendar online and book an appointment. Maybe my online course is also something for you. A collection of tapping rounds with 50 videos where you can learn tapping all by yourself and pull yourself out of your depressive slump. And now I wish you a wonderful day. See you then. Goodbye.